So what I am willing to believe is that these two are useful idiots.
Right.
They are just pawns in a very large, very elaborate system that was designed, one, to do money laundering.
Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk Crypto. The crypto market is still shaken by the collapse of FTX, one of the largest crypto exchanges founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, which filed for bankruptcy on November 11th. In today's video, we have Mark Yusko, CEO of Morgan Creek Capital Management, talking about the FTX collapse, which he has called an unbelievably elegant takedown of a threat. As the FTX saga continues to unfold, this chaos will certainly clear the way for regulators to march in and try to punish the industry, although SBF has been treated with kid gloves by regulators and Main Street media, which is a very different treatment they gave Bernie Madoff. Let's listen to Mark Yusko as he makes a bold statement regarding the masterplan behind the FTX collapse. But before we do, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we bring you daily content on the latest crypto news. And now, let's jump right into the video.
The day, literally 24 hours after Bernie admitted to his son that he, had perpetrated a big fraud, he was in handcuffs. And, he was my neighbor here in North Carolina for a number of years before he passed, in prison. The extent of the fraud is clear. It is profound. The guy who cleaned up the Enron mess, who has been charged with cleaning up this mess, publicly stated that this is a worse disaster and debacle than Enron. And Enron was pretty bad. And people went to jail. Somebody actually, died in jail. It's an interesting dynamic. And, we have a story in the New York Times saying that he's just a misunderstood philanthropist.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously, are you kidding me? I'm 100% convinced, and I actually have evidence of it, given I'm a large investor in one of the companies that he defrauded, and directly. Anyone who just watched that video would say it's literally like watching a training tape for how to spot a liar, right? Liars lie. His lack of eye contact. At one point he's jittering so much. Now, maybe he didn't have enough of his ADD medicine, maybe, but he's clearly lying. Sam's a liar, and he's always been a liar. Now, he's also been coached clearly very well by legal team, probably the best legal team that money can buy, the money that he stole. And he's been told to say a certain number of things. I didn't knowingly commit fraud. It's like saying manslaughter has a lower sentence than premeditated murder. So if I can just get off on the lower, I didn't know it was fraud. I just made a mistake. I did, it was a mislabeled bank account. Nonsense. And his ex-girlfriend, Caroline, worse. Anyone who's seen the video of her, that person was no way in charge of a $20 billion trading enterprise, which turns out there was no trading enterprise. It's not shocking that his mother runs one of the largest PACs, secretive PACs, that the Silicon Valley elite use to kind of get around campaign finance laws. That's not surprising to anybody, perhaps. Is it a surprise that his father went to Yale Law School with a lot of people who are in government, and perhaps is a known expert on trust law? Interesting. Advisor to some of the regulatory agencies. Caroline's father, the head of the economics department at MIT. Her dad was Gary Gensler's boss. All of these things just they paint a really interesting picture.
Yusko makes an allusion to Sam's parents' connections in DC and even points out that many of these scams usually involve family members. So, what's the big picture Yusko is seeing in this scenario?
There's something funny about two kids with no experience and clearly no ability to run this complex business then turning out that half of it, like half of the companies that Alameda invested in, Michelle, are shell companies owned by SBF 100%. Like that's a funny thing. There's another piece of it too, which is in just about every fraud I've ever seen, they're family relationships. I think the same thing is true here. You got an uncle that's involved as an accountant. You got the aunt that, some advisor to WEF. I mean, there's all these weird things. So what I am willing to believe is that these two are useful idiots.
Right.
They are just pawns in a very large, very elaborate system that was designed, one, to do money laundering, and there's clear evidence of money laundering. Two, it is certainly possible that there was an intent by someone or someones to have this be an example set so that regulators could come in and punish the industry. And look, the truth will come out, I think, although it's going to be kind of ironic if you convince the world through this PR campaign that he's not evil, that he's just a misunderstood, philanthropist, which is mind-numbing that was printed in print. If that's, then how are you going to punish him if you decide in the court of public opinion he's not a bad person? Okay, he can say, I didn't know I was doing it, but the facts are less than $1 billion of assets, 10 billion of liabilities. Where's the money then, Sam?
There's certainly many parties interested in seeing crypto go away, like the traditional financial systems and central bankers who consider Bitcoin a threat to fiat currency. Yusko believes SBF and his ex-girlfriend Caroline to be useful idiots and just pawns in a game to intentionally take down crypto, although he has tremendous conviction that fraud was committed. As far as where did the money go, Yusko has a pretty clear idea, and he goes deeper into what he believes is the end game of this whole plot.
Who do you think was on the receiving end of this money laundering?
Politicians. Seems abundantly clear that that's where the money went. There is evidence that very large sums of money went to political candidates.
Yeah, that we know.
There is evidence of him saying that he was going to give $1 billion in the next election, right? He's on record publicly multiple times saying, I'm going to give $1 billion in the next election. I believe, right, that the end game is there's a threat to the status quo. And the status quo is a pretty big deal. Banking system, fiat currency, central banking, American hegemony, world reserve currency, all of that, in theory, Bitcoin is a better form of money. Gold has been money for 5,000 years. Gold is the only money in the world, right? Now, Bitcoin is the new thing, and I think it's digital gold, but gold is money. Everything else is credit, is backed by debt. So the center of every monetary system is gold. Every central bank owns gold at the base, and then they print fiat on top of it. That system of fiat on top of gold is under duress because now we have a protocol that says, you don't have to have a ledger. I don't have to have a ledger. There is one public ledger, encrypted, permanent, secure, untouchable. And if I have a Bitcoin and I send it to you, we don't need a bank account. We don't need a wire transfer fee. We don't need any of that. And when no money changed hands, who cares? Just ignore it, laugh at it. But when tens, now hundreds of billions of dollars left the banking system, which is a little bit over leveraged, and went into the Celsiuses, the BlockFis, the FTXs, the Coinbases, now suddenly the banks are like, whoa, this is real. So if I'm a bank or a financial institution or a government, I might do what China did. I'm going to ban it. But the problem with a decentralized system, you can't kill it. And so what they, I think, have realized is this is inevitable, but you can slow it down. How do you slow it down? You make on-ramps and off-ramps harder. In fact, if you just got rid of them for a while. But this is no different than the 1840s free banking era, when there was a whole bunch of banks that went bad and belly up. And then by 1913, it took 70 years. By 1913, there was a central bank. And then we had the savings and loan debacle, and then we had the global financial crisis. So bank problems are not the problem, right? And everybody says, oh, these exchanges were the problem. No, the people were the problem. Hate the player, not the game. Sam and Caroline and whoever else was complicit, the other Sam or whoever, I'm not accusing anybody, but whoever else was complicit, they're the bad people. The exchange is not bad.
With the fall down of so many crypto banks and exchanges, regulators are most certainly going to try and make access to crypto more and more difficult. Are they going to be successful in their quest to take crypto down? Here's Yusko's thoughts on this matter.
I think the challenge is they can try just about anything, but it won't work because, American exceptionalism, we all think all the smart people live in America, all the good companies are in America. Nope, it's a big world. So what'll happen is if we become overly onerous regulatorily, if that's a word, it'll just pop up in other jurisdictions. And you've seen other jurisdictions embrace this, and they'll get labeled as money laundering and terrorist havens, and that's the way the world reserve currency owner has always acted. Now that we are the world reserve currency, we'd like to stay there, but China would like to be the world reserve currency, and maybe they get there. I don't know, maybe. Bitcoin ultimately probably is a better world reserve currency. Probably has a role relative to base layer of money, the same way gold has for the last 5,000 years. So ultimately, we win because this technology is inevitable. The SWIFT system is 70 years old. It needs to go away. And we can transfer money anywhere in the world for free using the Bitcoin blockchain on a company that we invested in called Strike. Okay, that's better than paying 12% to Western Union and another 12% to Bank of International Settlements. That's just foolish. So that will get displaced, but incumbents are always going to fight. The good news, if you're here, you already won. We have already won. We just got to endure this, spring squall, Hurricane Sam.
Yusko believes we're in the then they fight you phase, where regulators will do whatever they can to stop or at least slow down the crypto space by closing on ramps and off ramps and strangling the industry to a significant level. But, in the end, we win because blockchain technology is not going away and it's only going to continue to thrive and flourish. Do you agree with Yusko that Sam and Caroline were just pawns in a masterplan to take down crypto? Will the contagion effect take down any more players in the market? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give us a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. This is Let's Talk Crypto, and we'll see you in the next video.